You're watching Detroit on Deck. Here are your hosts, Dave Cesefske and Josh Clark.
What's going on, everybody? It's Wednesday. It's opening night for the Pistons. We know, Josh, it's not the opening night for the NBA because we just saw such a touching moment with Bronny James checking in with his dad. Listen, first off, what's going on, Clark? Are you good?
What's good, brother?
Yeah, man, it's good, man. It's good. Listen, I say that jokingly. We saw history yesterday with the James family. It's cool. I think you and I kind of agree on this topic. Before we get into the Pistons, it's like it's good to be LeBron because you can do anything you want with the Lakers, but also I don't think Bronny is ready right now. I'm not saying he's never going to be an NBA guy. He could be a guy, rotation piece maybe. He's not going to be LeBron, but I think it is best if they send him to the G League right away. After, getting that moment, he looked like a little kid out there with men. What are your thoughts, man?
Yeah, no, I didn't see any of the game, but I did catch some highlights.
Yeah.
I agree 100%. Personally, I don't think Bronny's NBA talent at all.
Nah, it's his dad. Come
But
on.
but best case scenario, yeah, G League for sure. But yeah, he literally, like, LeBron forced his hand at the Lakers
Of course
front
he
office
did.
to give Bronny a roster spot. Like, let's just call it what it is.
Yep.
Like, we've seen him in college, like the Pac-12. I mean, it's not necessarily known as a power basketball conference, and he struggled out there, averaging like 3 or 4 points a game.
It's funny. I'm laughing, Josh, because I'm thinking like it reminds me of like for the last several years we've had to watch Thanasis play with the Bucks.
Oh, yeah, with the
like, and everybody's like, oh no, he belongs in the NBA. Like, this dude is the worst player in the league. He's so bad. Now, he's had moments. He has had moments, right? He's a better player than Bronny.
Yeah,
but
100%.
but like, and he actually has NBA size. Bronny does not have NBA size. I'm not like, this dude ain't Muggsy Bogues, right? Like, if you're under height, you better do something really good, and he doesn't, right? Like, he came out to play with his dad because if we're being honest, if LeBron's younger, he stays in college and develops more because he just wasn't ready.
Yeah.
So.
I agree. I mean, there's really nothing to add to that. I mean, that's literally the fact of the matter is LeBron going on record stating he would like to play with Bronny before he hangs up. So
yeah,
I kind of feel like LeBron forced the issue for Bronny to come out just so they had that moment and opportunity to play together.
Yeah, and if you hate Bron, then whatever. But I mean, if you're an NBA fan and you're real, like, you can love to hate the man, but like, he's done some amazing things in this game, and we've been. I'm thankful that I've gotten to see his career, right? Like, the good and the bad, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I believe that's the first time in NBA history a father-son duo has played together. And what makes that moment even more special, from my understanding, the Griffeys were actually in attendance to see it.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool, man, because them boys went back to back when they played together. So
yeah,
which is pretty darn awesome, right? So that's awesome. You do have. I mean, he never played on the same team, but Pedro Martinez was on the mound with his daddy going against him, the Yankees. So, his daddy. I
got you.
Who's your daddy?
I got you.
I remember those days. Right now, listen, it's kind of cool, Josh, because we're just kind of kicking things off. We're really getting the pod going here back again. Now that I'm back in Michigan. We're going to be having it on 3 nights a week, which is fun. And we've started to get a little bit more traction, which we really appreciate. If you get a chance, if you like the show, share it, subscribe to us, whatever, tell people about it, because we're going to be doing a lot more. We're going to be utilizing more social media, and, we want to do TikTok. We want to do all those things out there. Instagram is whatever makes sense for us. I know TikTok's going to be one of them for sure. And it's cool because tonight is opening night for me and Josh, because Josh is a big Pacers fan and I'm a Pistons fan. So they're going at it right now. I got to tell you, Josh, before we get into the discussion, because by the time we post this game is going to be over. Detroit's up right now by 4, but that I don't think that's going to hold. Um, it's it's wild to me that Miles Turner is still a Pacer. Feels like every year it's a guy that's like, oh, we're going to trade him this year. Like,
Yeah.
you guys are going to trade him, or he's not going to be worth anything soon. You know what I mean?
No, I'm glad that we kept him because
Yeah.
I don't believe we make the run that we did last year without him.
He was
but
fantastic.
I mean, these rumors go back to I want to say like COVID year, if not the year
Yeah,
before that.
they
Like,
do.
It's been a long annoying 5 years or so with these rumors. But like I said, I'm glad that we have him. I'm glad that we extended him. So he's definitely one of the pillars along with Hallie, for us to potentially make another run back to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, and listen, we're going to talk Pistons, I promise. But like that was kind of one of the things in the back of my mind was like, oh man, it's cool. Detroit's going to open up against one of the up and coming stars in the league, Halliburton, because I think it was really, really good for Halliburton to make Team USA. Yeah, he didn't play, but I really think it was good. He got a chance to watch those guys do their thing. Had a chance to see freaking Jason Tatum last night was absolutely out of his mind. Boston is at another level.
The whole Celtics last night were out of their mind. 26 of 45 from 3 is insane.
Yeah, and the Knicks look really bad. So, we'll see. They got a lot to learn, obviously, with Cat there. They're going to be fine, but we'll see what happens. I do want to this is the last thing I promise I'll throw out there, but it does connect with the Pistons. It absolutely boggles my mind that Carlisle has not had a winning team in forever or won a playoff series, and he's still there. Yeah. What are your thoughts on him, man? Because I feel like he's been given way too much time.
I don't mind Carlisle. I don't mind Carlisle.
Yeah.
I mean, are there better options out there? Yes. But I do like the pedigree that he does offer. So I think that's kind of
great coach.
I think that's why he has a longer leash, just because of this pedigree and like what he's done.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, listen, he's consistent, right? He hasn't been amazing, but he's been consistent with his teams. We'll see. I think. Listen, we're a Detroit podcast. We talk about everything, but we talk a lot about Detroit sports. So we're going to get into the Detroit Pistons, some of our projections, predictions, some bold statements about this team. Listen, last season they were 14-68. I don't need to tell you they failed to make the playoffs. Obviously they did. Their offensive and defensive ratings were near the bottom. Offense was at 27th. Defense was 25th. Josh, let's talk about their additions this year. I want to give you my favorite addition, and I think we'll talk about the toughest subtraction. For me, looking at some of these additions, obviously J.B. Bickerstaff's going to be huge. I think we had a little bit of chance to talk about this last week when we talked about the Pistons coming, starting the season. But I really do like Tobias Harris. I think he's going to be it's a different Tobias than the first time they had around, right? Like Stan Van Gundy was here. They wanted him to be somebody he wasn't, right? What he was in Philly is who Tobias is. He's a nice like piece. He can be a piece. He's not a main guy, and he's not even really a 2, in my opinion. He's just a guy that can occasionally score you 20-plus points, but for the most part, probably going to be around, 14, 15, 16 points. And that's okay, man. I think he makes his team better. What about you?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think Tobias is the best and my favorite addition. Obviously, like you said, the offense was atrocious last year. They needed something to kind of help that in that regard. You said, he'll give him, 20 a bunch of nights. He'll even go for 30 a few times this year, probably. But I do disagree in the fact that he's not a number 2. I do think Tobias can be a number 2. I just
on a winning team.
On a winning team, I just don't think that we have a number 1.
No, I mean Cade is a good player. I believe Cade Cunningham, Josh. That was actually my bold statement, but I'll tell you right now, I think he's going to average 25 points a game this year. I do. But here's the problem with Cade Cunningham. It's not been him on the court. He's been great when he's on the court. It's getting him to be healthy for a whole year. He's just never healthy. So, and if he's never going to be healthy, how good is he for you? They threw the bag at him, which I wasn't ready for. I was like, man, this guy's got to do something. But it's the NBA, man. You don't really have to prove yourself anymore. They're just going to throw money at you. So I can't be mad at a guy for getting paid. Anybody's going to take that. But I just want him to be more of a 1-1 guy. He has not been a 1-1 player. Your thoughts?
I agree 100%. I do believe though that if Cade's averaging 25 points, I think this team takes a step back.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, because listen, he's a facilitator. Really, he's been one.
I was gonna say I more so need to see that assist total go up. Is what I need. He's coming off 7.5, assists last year. I need to see that up around like 9, potentially 10.
Okay,
top 5.
So if he gives you 17 and 9, you happy with that?
Assist wise, yes, but I still need to see him probably around like that 20 point mark.
Yeah,
is what I would like to see is around that 20 and 9, 20 and 10. Put him in a nightly consistent basis. That's what you need from your number one, who is Cade right now. You need him to score. So 20 is the expected for a number one. Minimum I would say would be 20 points a night. And then, like you said, as a number one facilitator, like now you have shooters on this team. You need to get those guys the ball. You need to get their looks. That way, it's not all on your shoulders to do that.
Well, look at this. I mean, this really goes behind what you're saying. I mean, because I think we agree with him. We need to see a lot more. I think there's some special tendencies in there. I don't think we've totally tapped into those, but it's kind of his fault too because he hasn't been healthy, but he's always got new coaches. So if we can bring some stability, then it's not on us, our coaching staff, right? It's on him. Like, dude, you got to stay healthy and produce. But 3 years into this whole Cade Cunningham experience, we should be ready, and we're not. I think my biggest question is he worth building around? I mean, they paid him, so they believe that, and they couldn't afford to lose him in their minds. I'm not saying I believed that. I was honestly in the camp of let's look at seeing what we can get for him. But let's take a look at some of these guys, man. Scotty Barnes, Evan Mobley. I mean, those are some other guys that finished ahead of him in the Rookie of the Year voting. Scotty Barnes is a player, man. Like, I really like him. That's another guy that's raw, like in Toronto. Like he's still a good player. Evan Mobley, he is a piece. He's a championship piece, man, because Cleveland has got some talent, right? Like, they put a lot of money in Mitchell. And whether you like that or not, the guy puts up points. Can he play with Darius Garland? That's yet to be seen. I don't know. I was in Ohio covering them, the last 2 years, and it didn't look like they could be in the same backcourt together. But Mobley's a good player. But here's the thing, and I'll bring this all back. We've got to hit on some of these guys, man. It was Killian Hayes was a bust. Jaden Ivey might be good. We don't know. Oscar Thompson shot 18% from deep last year. And Ron Holland, I know you love him, but he's considered a reach by many people because at number 5. Now, a reach in the fact that, like, listen, he's going to score, but he's got a lot of developing to do. I don't see him. I mean, like, I don't think he's going to be an all-star like this year or something. He's got like 3-4 years, man, before he really fully develops in the eyes of NBA guys. So if we miss on Cunningham, dude, we're royally screwed, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. I like I mentioned to you before through text message and whatnot. I personally think our building block right now is Jalen Durant.
Yeah, but offensively though, bro, what does it give you?
I mean, Durant, he gonna give you. I mean, if we can get 15 from him a night, I think that's huge. I think he averaged 13 or 14 last year, so he's right on the cusp of getting that 15 a night. But more so, we need that defensive presence from him. But back to Cade though. Yeah, I don't think that the money that he was giving is going to be a payoff in the sense. I personally wasn't in the camp as well with you in terms of let's see what we can get. Let's see what's out there. This kid's still young. He's coming off a year where he averaged 22 points and 7.5 assists. So those are good numbers to potentially come off of. He showed a little bit what he can do.
Correct. Yeah.
I mean, and even then, he still missed a bunch of games. Like, I think he only played 60 or 61 games last year. So
yeah, and that's the most he's ever played.
Yeah, so I mean, there's still major concerns, even, his health issue coming, missing 20, 21 games. So it's a big concern for anybody, including the Pistons. So,
Yeah.
yeah, but I personally think I would have came off him. I don't think he is worth 150, let alone 200 plus a night, which is what he got.
Bro, he got 270, 270
Yeah.
if so it's 224 if he's all NBA
Yep.
next season, which he's not going to be,
No.
but then it's 270. Um, but like it's his salary this year is 30% of our salary cap. Like that's tough to win with that. You know what I'm saying? And these are his numbers last year, Josh, and I think you'll agree. These are good numbers, man. 22.7 points, 7.5 assists, 4.5 boards. Like, but the problem is they won 14 games with that. Like that. I mean, you got to get, like you said, if this team's going to be that good, okay, give me those 22.7, but make those assists. Give me 10 a night. Give me 9 a night. I got to get more assists. Because you got guys that can drive that slash of the bucket like Jaden Ivey, who could be dangerous. Now, he struggles shooting the three, but that's why you went and got Malik Beasley, Tim Hardaway, right? Tobias Harris can knock him down. Fontecchio.
Yeah.
Right. Like you got guys that can hit shots. So that's not the excuse anymore. But if you're not healthy, man, then maybe you're not the guy for this team to build around. And I know they already paid him, but any contract's tradable.
Yeah.
It's the NBA, right? Like dudes are, dead and they trade them. Like I seen, Keith Van Horn's contract traded like 10 years ago, right? Like and he'd been out for like 15 years. So like it's not quite, you know what I'm saying, but it's been a while. But yeah, man, if that's going to be your building block, because it certainly is the way you paid him, then I need to see a big jump. But let's get back to our point here. We said obviously the best addition. We did agree it's Tobias Harris. We'll talk about the worst subtraction, which is going to be pretty tough here because I'm going to give you guys Quentin Grimes didn't play, James Wiseman, Evan Fournier, Troy Brown, Malachi Flynn, Stanley Umude, Taj Gibson, and was it Chimezi Metu? Like some of those dudes I've never heard of. And I do watch a lot of the league, so I don't know. But yeah, Malachi Flynn had one good game, and it was special. But somebody had to put points on the board. I think James Wiseman, that's probably the biggest subtraction just because, man, you had a chance. You had a top 5 guy, and a lot of times they were just DNPing him. What did you have to lose? Why were you not playing him next to Duren? You know what I'm saying? Like, what did you have to lose?
I mean, I'll tell you exactly why they weren't playing him. They're too much in love with Isaiah Stewart, which I don't understand.
Which I don't like Isaiah Stewart's game, man. I just don't think he's ever done anything.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's the number one piece, to get out of Detroit. Honestly, if the team wants to be successful.
Yeah. So I mean, we agree then. It's got to be Wiseman because none of them other dudes.
It's 100%. It's 100% James Wiseman. It's not even close in my opinion. Maybe Evan Fournier because we know what he's been in the league before,
right.
but he wasn't given a chance to showcase that in Detroit. I guarantee you, though, he would have helped Cade.
Correct.
Score on a night in, night out basis if he was given that opportunity.
Now, listen, this could potentially fall apart. It could be a really rough year. But if everything goes right, Josh, if our veterans come in there, they're putting points on the board, and that we've got some good vets that came in here. If our coach is leading this team and they're making the most out of the talent that they have, and Cunningham is on the court, my best case scenario for this team is they get in the play-in. I think that's best case. What about you?
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. So, my buddy Kevin, we've been going back and
Mavs
forth.
Fan.
We haven't given our power rankings yet, but I have the Pistons in the 9th spot in the Eastern Conference. So,
yeah,
which would be the play-in, best case scenario if everything goes right, no injuries, things of that nature.
What's coming off a 14-win season, dude? That's like amazing, right? Like,
oh, yeah.
I mean, a lot of people, the over/under rate now is at 24.5.
And I'm taking that over all day.
I actually am too, and if you asked me this last week, I would have said I'm not gonna, just because I don't know. A lot of things have to go right, but if in fact Duran's game offensively is a little bit better. I mean, listen, I really like him, man, but he's limited offensively, and that doesn't mean that there's a ton of good bigs in the league. There's not. Sometimes they run guys out there that are 6'9" and put them at the 5. That's how the NBA plays sometimes, right? Like, it's just the way it is. And then you got the traditional center like Jokic and Embiid, Cat out there. So you got guys like that. So I think it's nice and it's valuable to have defense still. I know this league doesn't like playing defense, but it's the only way that this team's going to win because they're not going to put up 130, right? They don't have those dudes. So you're going to have to play some defense. And even with that, you're probably still going to be in the 110s and somewhere around there. But this team, in my eyes, could win, I don't know, 26, 27 games, close to 30. And I would say that would be one heck of a year, man.
Yeah, I still think best case scenario for them is a 35 win season.
That's a lot of wins.
If I'm saying best case scenario,
Okay.
Cade's out there 70 plus games. There's no injuries to the rotational guys, things of that nature. Things of that nature. Ivy takes a step that we kind of expect him to. Cade's doing what he does. Harris came in, he's doing what he normally does. Hardaway's out there, averaging his 12 to 15 a night. Beasley's averaging his 10 to 14 a night. Things of that nature on a night in, night out basis. Like if all that happens, and then you have your bench guys coming in from Fontecchio giving you 8 to 12. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked to see that type of season out of them.
You want me to tell you something that's a little shocking right now? So it's not that Detroit's up, but they're up. It is the second quarter right now, and obviously by the time this pod comes out, it's going to be over. But second quarter, Pistons are up 56-47, okay? Tyrese Halliburton has 4 points right now.
Yeah.
He's shooting 2 for 10, man. That team will not win if he shoots like that.
Yeah,
Tobias Harris, 13 points, 6 of 9, man. Beasley, 4 of 8 for 10. And here's the big one. 1 of 6 for Cade, 6 points, 5 assists. I mean, the assists are where you need them to be, but you score me 12 points a game, and that we're going to lose every time. So I'm going to need you to give a little bit more than that. Go ahead.
Beasley off the bench right now, 4 of 8, 1 for 4 from 3 with 10 points.
Right. Leading the way for you as a guy, I think was one of the better pickups in a long time is Pascal Siakam. That was a really nice get. And then signing him back, he's a nice player, and he's really been forgotten about in Toronto, but he was a big part of why they won that championship. I know Kawhi hit the shot, but you don't win the NBA title without Siakam. He was big that year. And then one of my favorite backups in the league is TJ McConnell. I like him. I really like him. And then for
I will say right quick, since we're on the Pacers right quick, I will say it's very surprising that Ben Shepherd has not seen the floor yet.
Yeah, that is. I saw that too. 0 minutes out there. That was kind of surprising.
I don't understand. They have literally put in 6 bench guys, and he's not one of them. He was your 7th guy last year off the bench.
Well, I tell you, one of the guys I would stop playing, and I know you will disagree with me, but Obi Toppin is an absolute disaster on defense. He is such a bad player. Like, he was one of the worst, plus minus guys. And it's a stat. Like he dunks the ball and he jumps out the building, but he does not play a lick of defense. 9 minutes for him, 0 points, 1 board. Nah. Like I mean, he'll do some things for you this year, but like looking over on the Pistons, okay, Jaden Ivey. Jaden Ivey's been in the game for 11 minutes, 2 for 4, 6 points. See, like. We got 9 shots from Tobias, 6 from Tim Hardaway, and then Cade and Ivy combined with 10 shots. They got to shoot the ball more, man. I don't understand that.
I mean, I agree in a sense, but that's the thing when you bring in guys who are better shooters. They don't need them to shoot that much anymore. You know what I mean? They need them to do other things. Jaden Ivey in Purdue, he was special on the defensive end. He was special at running the fast break. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cade Cunningham at Oklahoma State, he was good. Again, he was the guy.
He's a distributor. Obviously. Yeah, of course.
He was the distributor. He was, the guy who would, get other guys going before he got his own. You know what I mean? And
agreed.
now that he has some guys around him, he's able to get back to that, I think.
Is this something, or am I looking too much into it? I know it's early, okay? But if we're looking, I said also Cade is 1 of 8 right now. Jaden Ivey has shot the ball 4 times. You know who shot the ball more than him? Ron Holland. 5 times.
5.
He's got six points. I like that because I think Ron Holland could be a 6-man. Why not, dude? He scores that on a team that's going to struggle to score the basketball. I mean, Tobias has got 13 points and shooting 6 of 9. That's not going to be him every night. But, dude, if he gives you that 26 points, like if he gives me like 20 points a game, I'm happy with that as a veteran. But, this is like the most earliest as it could be. But this team didn't even look this decent at all in the beginning of last year. Would they lose like how many games was it in a row?
Like 23 or 24.
Which is embarrassing.
Yeah.
Right. Like I feel like Monty just wasn't coaching anymore.
Yeah, it was just absolute trash. But I mean, to your point though, I mean Tobias was paid to come in here and score the ball. So
right.
I'm not shocked by him putting up, 9 shots. I'm not surprised him having 13 points. I wouldn't be surprised to come into the year. I'm saying at least 20, but I wouldn't be surprised to see 22, 23, 24 a night from him on average.
So at halftime right now, it's Detroit 58, Pacers 49. Pistons are shooting 46% from the floor. 3-point, they're shooting 24%. That's awful. Yeah. But they are shooting 46 from the floor, and that's decent. I mean, your Pacers you got some shooters, and you're shooting 25%. So right. It's sometimes numbers can lie, but let's look at some of these numbers that are going to matter. Rebounds, 21, Pacers 21. You got big boys though, right? So that's going to matter. Assists, 15 for Detroit, 14 for Indiana. I don't care how many Indiana has. But if Detroit has more assists than their opponent, that's saying that Cade's probably distributing the ball. And I would imagine, I mean, it looks like that's who's starting that point right now. And that's, in my opinion, has to. Yeah. So I do like that. At halftime, Tobias had 13, 6 and 9, 8 points for Tim Hardaway. Marcus Sasser, 3 minutes. I don't like that. He should be on the floor. Isaiah Stewart, 9 minutes, and he's got no stats except for 2 rebounds.
Yeah, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. Like that's absolute trash.
Yeah.
But back to your point though. I mean, Jalen Duran, he's got 7 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists. That's not bad. That's not bad. Cade, again, he's up to scoring. He's at 6 points, 6 assists now at the half.
How about Beasley?
Then you look at Beasley. He is 4 of 8 in 17 minutes, 1 for 4 from 3, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 10 points.
That's a good half. Yeah, it's a good half. Obviously, he's going to hit a little bit more of them threes, but that's your guy. That's in my opinion, that is him and Tim Hardaway got to be your guys splashing in threes. Have to.
Yeah, I agree. And then Fontecchio also. I don't like that he's only got 7 minutes.
No.
In the first half. I mean, that's one of your main shooters, So.
Well, Isaiah Stewart, if I'm coaching, he's getting a DNP. I don't.
Yeah, I agree. I'm sorry, but I'm like, why are you bringing Paul Reed in if you're not going to play him? He hasn't seen the floor yet.
Paul Reed did some good things with the Sixers.
He's a better shooter than Stewart. He runs the floor better, in my opinion. The only thing Stewart does better than anybody is literally like he's literally your bully. You know what I mean? Like he's gonna stick up for you.
He'll punch LeBron. There you go.
Right. He's going to stick up for your guys when there's a scuffle. That's all he's good for.
And everybody's like, oh, no, if Cade's going to be this amazing player, he's got to be your scorer. Listen, here's something people won't agree with, but I know you know the game. LeBron's a better facilitator than he is a scorer. He is. He's a playmaker, dude. He's a playmaker. Like, yeah, he's an amazing scorer. He's also been around for 100 years, but, like, he's a playmaker. When he has the ball in his hands, you don't know what's going to happen. If our best player is Cade Cunningham, he can still be a playmaker and a facilitator. Does not have to score 40 or 50 points. This is not the Jerry Stackhouse Grant Hill Pistons, right? Like there's other pieces out there. But listen, that's an Indiana team that is a decent team. You're up by 11 at halftime. I feel pretty good about it. Josh, dang well that your boy Halliburton's not going to keep shooting 2 for 10, right? Like he's streaky.
Yeah, he's 2 for 10. He's 0 for 5 from 3-point. That's just telling me that he's settling for shots right now. Like
right.
he needs to, get in the lane, get fouled a couple times, get to the line, see the ball go through the hoop, and then he'll be on. That's just kind of what he does. But no, this is a good test on opening night for the Pistons. Though. I mean, I'm obviously a Pacer fan, so a little biased here, but we were one of the top teams in all the NBA last year. We made it to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yep.
So this is it's a very nice start and a very good looking start for the Pistons.
Yeah, I'm happy about them.
But I will say, honestly, even though I'm a Pacers fan, looking at their first 4 games, like I have their schedule up right now, like I think this is kind of a must win.
I mean, it's gonna be tough.
Because if you look,
I'm looking at it right now.
They got the Cavs, Celtics, and Heat. Like that's a tough little start.
Cavs are nice, dude. Dude, by the way, do you know you have James Wiseman out there for 5 minutes tonight?
Yeah,
5 minutes. He's
6
2 for
points.
4.
Yeah.
Just saying. He's gonna, if he could give you 12 points a night, 15 points a night.
Now give him 20 minutes. He's gonna be putting up 15 and 7 a night.
6 points in 5 minutes. I don't know, man. I just don't think the kid was given enough of a look. I actually do think Steve Kerr ruined him. I like his confidence and everything. The way that they were using him.
Yeah, now Steve Kerr's kicking himself because he doesn't have Clay. He wish he has LaMelo instead of
Steve Kerr. Okay, unpopular opinion. Steve Jackson won those titles, a lot of those titles. He put it together. Steve Kerr is like one of those guys that shows up on third and, pinch run after some guy hit a triple, right?
Right.
Like he's there, right? But Steve Kerr didn't win those titles. He had Hall of Famers. Say what you want, but when Clay was Clay, Splash Brothers, like, come on, man, put a crash test dummy on the sidelines. You're going to win games. But also the way that he's used that young talent there, he's absolutely ruined some of those younger players. Talented young players.
I agree. Jonathan Kuminga, especially. I think.
How is he not a star?
I think Kuminga has potential to score 18 to 22 a night.
Agreed. But also what he did with Moody and stuff, and and Wiseman, and now we're gonna play our vets and stuff. Dude, you even ran Kevin Durant out of town. And I know that Green had a little bit to do with it, but I don't know, man. I just think Bob Myers did a heck of a job there, obviously putting that together. But I would have loved to see. How does Jackson not have a job in the NBA? Like, what has he done, man?
That's crazy to me. It really is. Like, Mark Jackson should be on. He should be on any sideline without question. Every
year, I'm always like, oh well, Pistons can hire Mark Jackson, and we always go for some other dude. I'm happy with Bickerstaff, but like, it's another guy that was just like spit out from a team and recycled. So I don't get it. Mark Jackson's an incredible NBA mind. But I'm excited. I do want to ask you something, Josh. We've obviously covered a lot of Pistons here, but I want to ask because there were some new developments. So, J-Mo, on this suspension, so 2-game suspension. Is J-Mo, is he immature, or is he now a problem on this team? Which one is it? Because if it's a 2-game suspension, it's probably nothing like – it's not like, oh, he's using performance-enhancing drug. I don't know if it's weed. I don't know what it is. But if it's a rule, don't be stupid. Don't do it. That's why you don't gamble, anything like that. Is he a problem, or is he just immature?
I don't think he's either, honestly.
Okay.
I mean, it's already came out. He took creatine.
Yeah.
It's literally what it is. Like, I'm sorry, you can get that in any supplement over the counter.
Is it really creatine?
Yeah, literally, it was all over X when when the suspension was announced, like that he took creatine.
Let's see.
So yeah, I don't think he's a problem. And I think it's a stupid rule. I mean,
it says I'm trying to find league's performance enhancement drugs. Yeah, it's not creatine. This is saying it's not creatine. This is from ESPN. This is Daniel Mader, Mader, which I don't know who he is,
Who
but
that
it says
is.
Eric Woodyard. Well, he puts Eric Woodyard in here. There's no way in hell that it's creatine. If it is, the NFL should be ashamed of themselves. Even if it's marijuana, I think it's absolutely stupid.
Well, I
But
mean, you look at it. I mean, for one, let's just say it is marijuana. One, you're in a state that it's legalized in.
mm-hmm.
Sure, I understand the NFL has, their own, policies and things of that nature. But you also have to understand these guys are also humans. They play a contact sport.
Oh no, I agree.
He could be, you know what I mean? Like, sure, he's a young guy, but he could still have some aches and pains. And what does weed help you do? It helps, calm and relax the nerves,
Right.
and
And he's like, it looks like he's like 150 pounds soaking wet. You know what I mean?
No,
Like he's a small dude.
Exactly. And after last year and the whole gambling situation, like I don't think he's stupid enough to put something in his body, willingly. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because I mean he screws up again. I mean, 3 strikes you're out. You know what I mean? Like I think
Yep.
I think he's on a very short leash, but I think the Lions would be dumb if they kind of gave up on him because of this.
No, you cannot give up on him. But like, there was some developments that said, hey, if the Lions want to go and get Crosby, throw him in the deal. And I'm like, nah. I'm not about to give away guys like Gibbs, for Crosby and J-Mo. Like that's the future. That is exactly. People say, oh, but you're going to give up a draft pick. Yeah, in the late first round, which is really a second rounder. But he came out on a podcast and said, oh, it's like a whole movement and it's a business, but I want to be here. And people are like, oh, he doesn't want to come now. I'm like, dude, what do you expect him to say? Of course he's going to say that.
Well, the thing about it is, too, with the draft picks right quick is, like, if you look at our team as a whole, like, our team is pretty young. Like, anybody that we draft now is going to be a depth piece. Like, we have everybody.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like, our starters are locked in place for years to come, and that includes the offensive line after, I believe, was it Ragnar? No, not Ragnar. Decker. He just re-signed through 2027.
Yep.
So, I mean, a lot of these guys are already locked up. So, once we get rid of 25 and 26 draft pick, guess what? 27, we might need to replace Decker at that point. We'll have our first round pick to do so. You know what I mean?
100%.
If we're going to make a big trade now, it's going to have to be right now.
Agreed.
These next 2 draft picks, I don't want to say that we don't need them, but they're not as crucial as the years past draft picks have been.
We'll see, but we are obviously at the 30-second mark here, and we're just going to have to get the pro here so we can do longer shows here. But that's it. We're going to wrap it up. We're going to go watch the Pistons. Clarky, we're going to be back Saturday, and we're going to talk college football and everything else.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Peace out. Have a good night.
Peace, brother. You too.
Thanks for listening to Detroit on Deck. Be sure to like and subscribe to our page for more Detroit content.